Let's bring in Dr. Gerald Hill, the superintendent for the West Bloomfield School District. It's been a while since we've talked to you. How are you doing, Superintendent?
Hi, Ronnie. I'm doing great. We're wrapping up the school year, and I'm glad we're wrapping up the school year because of these ever-changing requirements that causes us to do a lot of pivoting. I feel like I'm in a basketball game and pivot right, pivot left. Been doing a little traveling, meaning violating the rules, I guess, but it's it's hard.
This year, I am telling you, has really been like none other, and we don't want to repeat it. But I think that your school district has done a great job of trying to navigate this crazy world. I know a lot of parents have been frustrated, a lot of teachers, and so many of the administrators as well. But as we're about to round out the school year, what do these latest rules and regulations mean to you and the staff members and the students?
Well, first of all, I think there's a hopefulness to it. As we wrap up this school year, we're keeping all of our mitigation protocols in place because we don't have that long of time left in school, and most of our students have not been vaccinated, so there's still the concern with the student body. But looking forward to next year, even into summer school, we can perhaps have more normal, if you will, approach. I know next year we're planning a full week of school, no hybrid learning kind of plans. We still will have the option for Lakers Online for families that works better for. But right now we have about 350, between 350 and 400 students signed up for Lakers Online. The rest of our students are planning to be back. Our staff, I believe, is pretty much fully vaccinated. We don't keep that data, but I feel they've had the opportunity to be vaccinated, so we can move forward with that thought in mind. The biggest challenge, Ronnie, all year has been how can we keep our students learning and growing? And we're looking at our data, we're looking at the results, we're talking to students and making sure that they're not only safe and healthy, but thriving. And that's been a challenge for teachers, been a challenge for parents. But our data is showing pretty good results, and we'll be sharing that with our Board of Education on June the 7th. Across the board in terms of looking at different data and what the impact has been from how we see it, and moving into next year what we can do better. So.
And with that, Dr. Hill, it's so confusing right now when we're talking about vaccinated versus not vaccinated, requiring vaccinations, not requiring them, or even requiring proof of vaccination. How do you even approach this topic as the superintendent of a major school district?
Well, first of all, yeah, the requiring, we're not even having that discussion because we don't require our staff to have vaccinations. I don't even believe like Henry Ford Hospital or most hospitals, I don't think it's a requirement, it's a recommendation. And we have that same recommendation for our staff. We do know that most people took advantage of it, but there are several factors that play into that. And so an employee has to make that decision between themselves, their medical advice they get from their doctors, et cetera. In terms of navigating it, I don't want to be in a position of being a vaccination policeman, if you will. So we need to have a good mitigation practices in place. We're going to be offering clinics at our school. I believe we have one coming up the first week in June. There'll be information on it. I think it's June the 2nd or 3rd. I don't know the exact date right now, but we're finalizing that this week, and we'll put it on our website, and that'll be held at West Bloomfield Middle School, which is the current Abbott Middle School, and it'll be for ages 12 and up. And then we are also exploring another clinic to offer at West Bloomfield High School between now and the end of June. So we have the health department sponsoring one of those, and we're working with Henry Ford Health Systems on the other. So we want to be as accommodating as possible without being mandatory or dictatorial about it.
So with that, as the end of the school year approaches, so much focus right now for the seniors, prom, graduation. What are those ceremonies looking like this year?
Well, we're waiting for that report that we just heard that's coming today, that MyOSHA report, to make some final determinations on the graduation. I know Mr. Pace, the principal at West Bloomfield High School, he has a plan. He's pivoted 2 or 3 times on his plan, and that report may entail another pivot. We will see what it says in the report with the relaxation of face masks for vaccinated individuals, and we're planning to have it outdoors at the high school on the football field. So we might be able to accommodate more people than originally thought. So that'll be interesting to see how that goes. Prom is post-graduate. The students will graduate June the 6th, I believe it is, a Sunday, and prom will be the following week. So it's post. They're alumni already. So we're working through the logistics of the prom. There's a student planning committee, and they're working with Mr. Pace at the high school. And I believe ticket sales are already going on. So it'll be as normal a prom as one can have in these conditions. So it'll be interesting to see how that works.
At least they have something, Dr. Gerald Hill with us here on the MegaCast, Superintendent for the West Bloomfield School District. And again, our apologies for coming to you a little bit late, just another couple minutes with you. And as we go into the summer season, summer school, do you still call it summer school? How's that looking this year?
We have a rich array of opportunities for students, and we have traditional summer school, and we have some credit recovery. We have some more summer adventures, if you will, and they're going to be doing a lot. K through 12, we're going to have programming for kindergarten through 12 students, and there'll be a lot of enrichment, a lot of remediation, if you will, credit recovery. It'll be a combination of factors. And I need to commend our teaching and learning staff for putting that together. I know you've had Amy Quinn on your show before. She's been instrumental in working through it. And we are signing people up as we speak for summer opportunities for continuing to learn. People talk about learning gap or learning loss, and kids have been learning all year. Our data shows that they've been learning, and I think we have a lot of unfinished learning that we need to address. There's a report that just came out last week. It's called the Michigan Blueprint for Comprehensive Student Recovery, put out by the governor's office, and a whole lot of real creative thinkers put this report together, and we will be we have been analyzing, reading that report, and summer school is a big factor in terms of helping students complete some of the unfinished learning. But that report that I just referenced, the Michigan Blueprint, we'll use that as the basis for our upcoming strategic planning that we're also starting in August. And the strategic planning will take into consideration the recommendations from that Michigan Blueprint. So we've got a lot of work before us, but I'm confident with our staff, the creativity, the innovative thinking, the dedication that they have towards students, we will come up with a real good approach to continuing the learning for all of our students.
So with that, just about another minute before we have to say goodbye, latest updates for the parents that you want them to know and the students.
First of all, a big thank you, a huge thank you to all the families for working with us, for working with their boys and girls and young adults. It's not been easy for anybody. And without the support and feedback from families, we've been getting a lot of feedback, positive feedback, a lot of questions, a lot of concerns, but very respectful in the dialogue that we've had with our community, and I need to thank them. Also, the students have been remarkable in terms of their resilience that they've shown all year, and that wouldn't be possible if we didn't have the teaching staff that we do, and they've been bending over backwards and trying to make sure that we offer the most dynamic teaching and learning program as possible. Like you said when we started this interview, I wouldn't want to repeat this year. We've learned a lot from it, a tremendous amount, but what we've learned is if we work together as teams, parents, teachers, students, school board, community members, we can do whatever needs to be done to help students learn and grow. I just wish the legislature, and maybe there's some hope on that. I've been reading more recently that they've reached an agreement. The governor and the GOP and the Democrats are going to be working together on putting together a solid budget. And following the revenue conference that just took place last week, looks like there will be money available to do some more creative things at the state level as well. So we'll continue to work with our area legislators and crafting a budget that's beneficial to all students.
Well, it's great to see them getting along and starting to work together, just as so many members of your team and the parents and the students have had to do so again this year. Dr. Gerald Hill, always great having you with us. We've appreciated your time throughout this pandemic. Superintendent for the West Bloomfield School District. We're sorry we're out of time, but we'll have you on again soon.